Stand by, here we go.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, speed.
How'd you like producing? Were there ever times when you just said, this is too much, doing both of these?
Is it too much? There was a couple of days there that I thought before we started shooting, and but I enjoyed it. I enjoy solving problems, and it's very satisfying. You come up with an idea, you bring everyone together, and you start seeing it come to life, and that level of creativity was exciting.
Was it more satisfying than just acting?
No, acting is very satisfying also, in a different way. For this kind of picture, you know, I'm glad I was involved with every part of it. You know, sitting down with Brian, it just made it more fun for me. You know, I've made a lot of movies, and I was ready for this transition. This is, you know, I remember I was talking with Paula one day, and we were like a few weeks away from shooting, and it just dawned on me. I said, you know, this is actually the biggest movie I've ever been involved in terms of production. So you know, I didn't realize how big the picture was going to be when I said, oh, let's make a movie about Mission Impossible. Let's go make that movie, and all of a sudden we have all, you know, these huge action sequences and traveling from the locations that we had, and it was, you know, it was an adventure making this picture. That's for sure. I must say I enjoyed it. It was a lot of pressure, but it's strange, but I kind of enjoy that.
That's great. What stunt was for you the most difficult, or what special effect was the most difficult to pull off?
To pull off, in what way? Technically, physically?
Physically.
Parts of the CIA were the toughest, actually. When I'm hanging there, I don't want to give the story away, but when I'm lying parallel to the floor, that physically, the amount of time it took to get there and to try to balance myself, I wasn't really balanced that well, so there are a few times you hit the ground and you're holding that position. You know, it was exhausting. We finally, you know, Brian was ready to say, okay, I'm going to have to divide this into two different shots. He talked to me about it because I was getting really exhausted and it wasn't working. And I thought, you know, hang on, okay. I know there's only so much fuel left in my body before I'm going to have to, you know, take a break. And I said, you know, let me put some, you know, in London they have the pound, you know, the coin. So I had them hook me up, hang me, put a couple of pounds in each shoe, and just to balance myself, because I kept falling and smacking my head on the floor. I just couldn't balance it. I mean, physically, I just couldn't do it. And then finally, when we did it, I got it fairly balanced. I said, okay, let's try it. And Brian said, all right, you know, let's try it action. And I'm telling you, after we'd spent probably all of the morning, we went into a late lunch to try to get this shot. And I'll never forget, I'm telling you, I dropped down, you know, and I'm just hanging there and hanging. I don't want to give it away, but I'm hanging there and hanging there and hanging there. And it worked. And Brian just left me hanging there just to get we had 3 different cameras going. And finally he said, okay, cut. And I just went, whew, you know, it was a great feeling though when you got it, you know, and Brian came over and gave me a hug. He said, all right, man, let's go, you know.
Great.
Lunch.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it.